Okay, so today was admittedly traumatizing. This is my second update about the situation with my now estranged husband of 19 years. The protective order that I took out on October 21st didn't get served until last week because despite being told the information, like George being told that he has the order, he decided to stay in Florida, where his mom's in the hospital, so her house is free. And so he's making it seem he's checking on her, but he hasn't checked on her but twice since last year. So we know what he's doing. In any event, he didn't show up to the first court hearing, but he also did not have the papers served yet, even though he knew they were there to serve him because he has cameras all over the property. So no one can come to the door without him knowing why they came to the door. And so when my son answered the door that night, it was clearly communicated that he had an order and they were looking for him. And he might not have known exactly what they were looking for, but he knew that, or like, you know, what was the reason, I should say, but he knew there was some reason for them being there. As a result, he started being invasive, he cut off his location so that the kids couldn't see it. So I guess he thinks that I look at his location. Well, you're paranoid because you are constantly looking at my location. I don't care where you go, just as long as you go out of here. Listen, people who are pleasant to be around are pursued to be aroundable. You are not aroundable. Like, you're frustrating. You're death when they're supposed to be light. You are starvation when we're supposed to feast. You are a starving wolf in a bountiful harvest. You always gonna have lack, be dark, lying, manipulating because of who you are. You can't serve two masters. And so today I knew. Actually, the last time I went to court, he didn't show up, but he also didn't have to because it was that kind of loose thing where until he served, I couldn't actually enforce it. So it's very soft enforcement, even though I did let him know when that was. So he initially scheduled a time to come and pick up his stuff on November 1st and ended up not coming. November 2nd actually ended up not coming to get his stuff, even though I made arrangements for my son to sleep out and all these things so that he can get his stuff, go by his family, and whoever the girl is he's with this time. Even if he's not, he's with himself. He's not a loyal person. It doesn't matter if he's cheating, which could be, I don't know, I might find out this boy rear ends boys. I don't know. Not that there's nothing wrong with that, but then, you know, he don't want that exposed. I mean, just be real with that. It's only an exposing situation when you hit it. Nothing can be exposed when it wasn't hidden. In any event, I don't know who he is what I'm going to tell you. So in any event, today was the day we're supposed to go back. The last time I went to court, listen, I was a hot mess. It was a hot mess. It was very difficult. Right when I thought I was going to have a panic attack and die, the elevator stopped and broke down. How the hell I got caught in the elevator that broke down on the way to court? Oh, who the hell? Who in the Lucifer Judas? Oh my gosh, listen, I can't make this stuff up. That's why I look so tired. But see, like, my face looks good a little because I'm getting life back. This little dark food and left out of here, and every day I get a little bit more light. My little bags and stuff that I thought were going away. I woke up one day, I was like, what is this? My puffiness is going away. You know why? Because I was sleeping next to a devil every day, and mainly for the amount of time that I did, because of what everybody else kept telling me. Stay in. You can do it. Why are you trying to leave him? Now, nobody has to live with him. Nobody has spent more than 5 minutes with him, like in a one-on-one way that wasn't artificially calculated to appear a certain way or be esteemed a certain way, which is always what has disgusted me about him and his family and anyone like that. Like, I can't stand liars who walk around pretending to be this great person and have people looking up to them as the standard, when in fact, they're not the standard at all. They are below the standard. They are not a standard. Their standard is themselves. It's whatever's convenient for them. It's crazy, the psychology behind it. Also, look how clear-minded I am. Do you know why? Because this is the longest time that I've ever had without George Ferrari in my ear or not being pregnant in 20 years. Before that, narcissist mom, dad, brother, sisters. My older sister is the worst. She is, I haven't really researched her, but like say my mom is overt. So I was laughing because I'm like, my husband cannot stay off my mama. I don't know if he's trying to bang her, but get off my mama, bro. Like, go deal with your mama. Because you think I'm your mama. I can't even breastfeed my kids without you also trying to get milk. Like, I would have to tell you that the milk was for my babies. Because your mother didn't produce it or something. And so you resent me for knowing your savage, cruel, real, skeleton, dark self. And you risk exposure. And you also don't have the control that you need to make me stay around to do the things that you need me to do in order to maintain your image. Therefore, he will always find a way, just like before, to discard me, which means amping up the attacks, amping up the aggressiveness, trying to, because since he hasn't physically abused me since, January 5th of 2016, that's his whole entire thing. Like, I haven't touched her. Well, let's just run it back. I met him in 2004, and in 2012, he open hand smacked me, threw me around and stuff. And then in 2015, he outright choked me, punched me with a closed fist, threw me downstairs and all kind of stuff. And then in 2016, tried to kill me. So here's the escalation. What? It's gapped. It's got all the years in between. No, it doesn't make sense. But here we are with that information and with that truth. And then he got arrested in Louisiana, of course, because Louisiana, the state of Louisiana pressed charges against him, and he lied about the entire thing. So today he was in court and he brought a lawyer. It's crazy because I told him, I said, he's gonna bring a lawyer. Why would you even bring a lawyer to something like somebody, like from a person's point of view that I don't know what's wrong with this girl. She crazy. I treat her so well. I don't know why that she's saying that she needs protection against me. Why did you pay for money? Like, part of the reason why we argue is because you say I spend your money at Goodwill and Kroger. That's the only two places that I spend it. And North Star Cafe, 1 to twice a month for a little $20 salad. So if I was that far-fetched and he did the same thing, I would be like, what the hell? Like, what's wrong with him? First thing I need to do is get back, figure out what's wrong with you? Like, if it's so far-fetched, if it isn't far-fetched, you do like he did, and you take 3 weeks to avoid being served. Wait until your sister musters up the money to give you a lawyer that you're going to come in to speak on your behalf. Funny thing is, she came in today talking about she just got the case last night. She doesn't even know me. Listen, it's the most difficult thing in the world to be in court uneducated about the adjudication system, as far as how the judicial system, I should say. I don't like saying that, so I got a little lisp. I'm from the South, but a system where I get that I can represent myself, but I'm gonna need y'all to give me a little bit of leeway. Y'all be like bang, 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 and I don't be knowing until I leave. But anyway, I get to cross-examine, but she comes over here and tries to get in my personal space when I had just said I don't like nobody in my personal space, because the last time someone was in my personal space, they choked me. So I'll be like, can you please stay within my arms? See, like, you guys can even still see my face from here. Look at, and I was like, please stay this far away. This is all that I've ever asked for people to stay away, is this far, because if not, I'm gonna snatch you. And then you're gonna turn around and say it's my fault. What? I am so sick of being victimized and villainized. Like, you can't choose both. Got my face. Listen, this isn't a beg for him to stay with me. This is a beg for him to get away from me. There is no other way to get him away from me. Listen, I can't stress this enough. That in order for this to end, as far as the marriage and all of this, I have to leave the kids and leave everything with him and go live another life, or submit myself to whatever he's already doing, or whatever happens under his terms and rule and authority. And he's so little, like, you too little. You're not even 5'8". Like, why are you talking so much trash to me? Choking me and whatnot, and almost trying to kill me and then denying it. Like, here we are. Listen, when Jesus said, we are not fighting against flesh and blood, but of principalities, and like, listen, when I tell you that it's of the kingdom of God and the kingdom of heaven suffer violent, and the violent take it by force, That's my favorite. I'm about to kill y'all because you don't know what I've been through. Well, you did actually, because I told him everything that he needed to betray me. I said, I don't really mess with nobody who did this. I hate your daddy. I hate your mama, your brother, your sister. Your brother killed himself. Your sister is a stripper. I don't know why you guys keep letting her strip and act like she work at a restaurant in New Orleans that she won't tell us the name of on bourbon. Like, at first, I thought it was naivete. Let me get me a drink. I thought it was a naivete. But it's not. It's really like you really think like this. And it's out of sight, out of mind. You're a coward. So there was just always certain words that I've been using the last 5 years because there's so much dysfunction about this marriage and everybody's looking at it as a goal. Oh my God, you guys are so amazing. Well, I'm amazing. I'm not always amazing. I talk a lot. I got a lot of flaws, but if you tell me what they are, I probably already know. Like, nobody's told me any new things about me except the fact that I keep doing the other stuff. So take it or leave it. I don't approach people and weigh them down with myself. I have energy that attracts. So if you came in my space and I gave you too much information, then no, next time you come in my space, I'm gonna give you too much information. If you like being in my space and you like some of the information, but you didn't want so much information, then know me and be brave into your little heart and say, I don't know, you're losing me, but I gotta get going. It was nice talking to you again. You know what I'm gonna say? My bad, you gotta let me know. And I'm gonna take that as thank you for communicating that to me. Because I have ADHD and I honestly don't talk to a lot of people every day because I live in trauma. So when I do get out, sometimes I over-explain, over-talk, get overexcited about the situation. And so a reminder would be nice, but instead people assume that you're going to be offended. And so instead of letting you know, they would rather do all of these toxic tactics like lie to pretend they have something else. And I just want to point out that the reason why people lie is because they're scared. I don't lie to nobody. Fight me then. As soon as I found out that fear was about me being scared of whatever they were doing, I ain't scared of nobody. I'll tell you the truth all day. If I didn't tell you directly, but you heard it, if you just circle back, I'll let you know if it's true or false. Tell you to your face. It's better that way. And 9 out of 10, before I say to somebody else besides you, I told you already. So it ain't new information. You might not heard it the way you want it. I'm not sure. The worst thing that I have done in my adult life is literally let people, especially in the religious space, tell me to water myself down about truth. I'm gonna tell you, this situation has been asking God to reveal things to me that I missed or overlooked or gave away my will concerning. Okay, so if you're married and your husband and you're following the order of God is the head of the house and your husband and you when you're married, you are going with what your husband says to an extent. You have to agree to submit, right? You have to agree to push down your subconscious, your what you believe, and agree almost to give that authority to the person who swore before God that you were his church, like Jesus. His bride was the church. And if Jesus saw how you treated this church, you think he flipped tables before? Man, Jesus is about not to play behind me. I'm telling you, I know it already because I haven't had joy yet on this earth outside of myself and the Holy Spirit created in me. I did not grow up in church where my mom walked around holier than thou, being a worst overt narcissist ever. I've been abused, but you like being abused. So, but we can't address that. We can't address anything because overt narcissist. George, covert narcissist. They love each other. It's sick. It's really sick. I actually told my mom, Sylvia, Perkins, Higgins, Anderson, all of them apply to you. The most toxic mother I could ever have. And people say all the time, like, oh, well, you know, my mother wore whites at my wedding and we just closed it off. Not a single person kept talking after that with their mama. Whatever mama issues they had, all I say is that so I can be done. Because you better tell me stuff that ain't have nothing to do with the fact that my mom kicked me out at 17 years old after forcing me to have an abortion and not talking to me for 2 whole years while telling everybody that I was in college and she would support me financially, when what really was happening is that they sent credit cards that I applied for to get a free shirt and a lunchbox home. My dad opened that card up and him and my mom, who could never get credit cards before because they don't spend money correctly, can't get a bank account, nothing, opened it, activated it, and live their best life for about 3 months, because broke people do what broke people do, and you maxed out $3,000 in 3 months. You're ignorant. You never had it, and you never was going to get it because you never was a good steward over it, because you're vain. And so I'm second oldest of 6. And the only person that's not like that is my very, very youngest brother, who literally was raised by the worst part of the wolves in them. Okay. They giving up. They're going to keep having these kids and then give up on the 6th kid. What George family to do, have 5 kids and give up on the 5th kid. And so I'm not giving up on mine. All 3 of these kids are about to get the same effort and resource that I provide them. Okay. I'm not about to sit around and just say I got tired. No, same energy. And so I am that way, and I'm indignant, and I feel that way because I despise where I come from. I don't recognize that I'm with my family. And when I talk about black sheep and family, Lord, it's so funny because like a black sheep of a family won't even necessarily consider themselves a black sheep of a family. Automatically, they gotta read it like 10 times when they talk about, and they describe you on paper all this whole time over and over consistently. But the golden child, or the person who feels like they are getting slighted the most, even though they're the predator, thinks that they're the black sheep of the family. Like my sister, my older sister, this girl is toxic. Listen, if I start the stories for that, you're going to think I'm going too far back like the judge told me today. But I'm not going to do that. Because listen, I hear him in my head. I just want to kill somebody. Like, look, y'all, I'm about to be... people get married. I was doing that little wedding. I do get sidetracked, so sorry. But I did that wedding, right? And they be getting like marriage.com stuff. I'm about to lawyer this.com. I'm telling y'all, I'm about to be a lawyer online. But if y'all can message in the comments, if y'all see this before 2025, where I can get this law degree online right quick for 3 months or something to be able to fight this case, because I'm not about to pay a lawyer 3 months or $3,000 for in December for me to be represented of the basis that I have been for 20 years under the service of a small boy who compares himself to Job because he had an affair and almost killed me and blew his family up. This man is supposed to be religious, and God said you can't serve 2 masters. You're going to love one, hate the other. That you will know them by the fruit. The things that happen in their life will have fruit. This boy have no... Listen... This boy has produced no fruit since I met him. Even the kids, you plant that seed. Dogs do the same thing. They go outside, they hump other dogs. When it's humping season, it's mating season. This earth needs to be populated. You taking pride and repeatedly spitting out X chromosomes back to back while demanding a Y, that you want a Y chromosome. While demanding a Y chromosome. So you can traumatize a body and generation of women to further traumatize, like you and your daddy. Y'all, I never fought a grown man, but I'll fight both of them. And I swear, if y'all see me jump in, I swear. When his dad comes see me, you should see him. He's the most grandiose of them all. Oh, Lord. Listen, he has always made my spine tingle. And I told George, I said, if you ever turn out like this, it's never going to work with us. So you going to tell me that you don't understand that on paper, you the same as him and you doing the same thing. Literally following it as you witnessed it and initially told me that. Oh, no, I despise my dad because of how he did to my mom, and she's in mental health because of, well, she's a narcissist too, right? So you all have your reasons for doing things. And some of y'all are more predatory than the others, but y'all all predators. You can't get mad that you went, a little shark went in there and the whale was like, what are you doing here? Oh, Jonah. I'm sorry. If I don't laugh, I'm gonna cry. So the lawyer comes in today, and I just want to let y'all know that if you're a woman, and I don't care if you're a defense attorney, go kill yourself if you plan on further emotional abusing and victimizing a person, another woman, based on the male client that you represent. Male client sitting there with all the audacity in the world to tell me that because he works for GE Aviation, today he told me because he works at GE Aviation, that he also works with the Department of Defense when he goes to Wichita, Kansas. This is This is hilarious. I can't laugh yet because it's not even, I can't, when you compartmentalize your emotions, you gotta laugh later because you don't have it today. But it's hilarious. This boy said that it's top secret stuff that he cannot even tell me happening over there. Boy, you're in IT if you don't fix these computers and get out of here. No, they want to make sure, listen, they don't want you to have a gun. That was his defense for asking for a gun while also denying killing me. Here's what I'm gonna say. The whole time in court, I got further victimized, right? Because no, he hasn't physically hit me since 2016 because he don't want to die. Listen, it's a difficult tangle web we weave when we talk about domestic violence, especially if you're a product of domestic violence, because domestic violence victim understand how to move. My mom was super ignorant. She should have she wants me to cry about her being a victim. How? You see, when I was 2 months old, my dad beat the hell out of you and I was laying there. What do you think that did to my nervous system then? Then he kidnapped you and moved you to Ohio and you were just here and you just stayed. I would never do that. If I had to suck up one time to get home, I'm going home. You ain't gonna kidnap me. Who you gonna kidnap? Who you gonna kidnap? And your parents will have flew you back home. So don't confuse and push on me your hard times based on your ignorant decisions that you love the man in his trauma. And as he traumatized you to spit out 6 kids, 4 after me, girl, bye. Nobody told you to keep having all these kids. This man been ignorant. This man was ignorant when I was 4 and I knew it. The man told me we was at a house. My dad, we were at a house when I was like 4. And he told a lady, it's her aunt. The man's name is Rat. His friend, Rat. So, thought I was her aunt, whatever. Even at 4, I was like, this don't really feel auntish. Don't feel auntie-like, but okay. But a week later, my mom caught a cab over there. We was throwing rocks at the window. Oh, this auntie so-and-so's house. No, even then I was like, oh, man, facts. Putting it together. I'm 4. Count them up. Are you serious? I still remember throwing rocks. I was just happy at the time. If we were talking real talk, I was just happy I got to throw rocks at the window. I'm not going to lie. Because you're selfish when you're little. You don't think about that. But I also knew he was very, very, very irresponsible. I just didn't know what that meant for me. And so, yeah, as a kid, you might laugh around, joke around, and just be trying to be jovial like a child, like God has told you as an adult to remember being a child. But when I remember being a child, I also remember the fact that at 4, I understood what cheating was, and that's crazy. And so you understood the same information I understood, except I was 4 and you were like 23 or something like that. And somehow your excuse for being a terrible parent, making terrible decisions, staying in toxic situations so that your kids have trauma that you will refuse to acknowledge because of what it means for you. Your explanation to why you stay in a situation was because you were uneducated. Well, listen, you don't have to be educated to work at most jobs. I would have left. There's too many resources out here. You loved my dad and you wanted to stay with him. He was ignorant and he was doing all things, but you also like being a victim. So you gotta acknowledge that you didn't break your own cycle and recognize your own patterns. You just keep having kids and then blaming him for it. You could also got birth control and just stopped. You could have got your tubes tied anytime, but then you also said, I wanted a bunch of kids when I was younger. I remember saying it. And so all she's done this whole time was the parts of me that are strong, that I've been confronted with exactly the same things that she's been confronted with, but you as a coward listen to Luther Vandross to get over your situation. When I was sad, I was like, turn your eyes on Jesus, me and Lauren Daigle. Then I was like, this is war, and we're in here praising, and we got oil. We ain't doing that. So they not like us. And when I say they're not like us, it's talking about me and Holy Spirit. They not like us because the wisdom that he gives me to understand the stupid, ignorant, selfish people that have always been around me, forcing me to be present in their life, refusing to abide by any boundary that I set, forced me to be in their life. Well, then why? I don't need you. That's the whole point. Y'all crying because I don't need you. I cut you off and block you. This boy took my phone and unblocked himself, then told me not to block him again. Listen, that's abuse. In court today, to let me know, since he hasn't tried to choke you or kill you since 2016, then why are you still with him? Didn't he just take you to Paris? Yeah. He's working on something, right? So when he does that, he does something grandiose. So in April for my birthday, he came and brought tickets to go to Paris. And I was like, all right, I mean, are you sure? Did you buy the tickets already? Because I'm gonna bug my schedule out. And I run a business, so I really get upset if last minute I gotta open my schedule up, because I usually does get full because I book out 3-4 weeks in advance on average. So my mustard seed of faith believing in this idiot was for me just to block out my calendar. I did not tell nobody. You're not gonna have me out here embarrassed, because you've told me so many things and I've been out here telling people and they were like, no. And then I come back and ask you and you're like, oh no, I didn't tell you that because it's, but you told, you had me out here looking stupid. So I didn't tell nobody. And then I was like, since then he's been doing stuff, you know, trying to make me seem crazy, right? He's plotting again. Because now he's back on his feet, right? Got the job you want. My other daughter about to graduate. All you got is my son left. Whatever you're working on is something around there. But he's just trying to basically, I feel like he's trying to make it paint like a mental issues. I do. When he's around me, I feel like killing myself. It's not one of them crazy laughs that I'm going to kill myself, but that's what I feel like doing. How do I reconcile that? Well, my mental health 100% improves with you out of my presence, which I feel like justifies a protective order. But they were saying it like I was crazy, and somehow him coming back home and being, my petition being denied for a protective order is based on me being crazy and him just being perfectly okay, and somehow I'm just crazy, and this man's taking me to Paris. And this lady brings up, don't you drive a 2017 Audi? And I had to pause. I do, but like, it's 2017. This thing is like, that's like a 7-year-old vehicle. Didn't I say I shop at Goodwill and I only go to Kroger? Like, you're speaking facts, lady, of my life. Are you kidding me? That's not, I don't know where he got her from, but I also don't know where he got the one for the criminal one. But anyway, I feel like it went terribly. The judge is going to give me a decision, but the takeaway, a written decision, so I wasn't able to get one today. So I don't have a resolve. Well, I need to get it off my chest. And the takeaway from this entire experience today is this. It will continue to be difficult for women to report domestic violence when they're treated in this way. If you have ever suffered abuse by a parent or a spouse or a protected partner, you understand that if I had to choose from you punching him in my face with a solid fist every day on the same side in the same spot, or be mentally abused, gaslighted, manipulated, thrown bone over here while you're doing over there, have your husband raw dog a chick without a condom in her rear end and have you bleeding. Like, what else are we talking about here? Taking our babysitter and sleeping with her, then also gaslighting her and making us hate her because there's no proof, right? Boy, if this gets around enough, I know I have plenty of proof. And so the biggest threat to my safety in the entire world of my 45 years has only been him. You've almost killed me physically. You've violated and exploited me spiritually, emotionally. You're a wolf in sheep's clothing, and it's crazy because like I didn't understand what like narcissism is, and I didn't understand about all these like different qualities that I started pointing to him, such as like you're so insidious. Like it's like, you know, you're the behavior is insidious. Like, and I never used that word before. And I was like, you know, everything is so sadistic. And I started using the word sadistic. I'm like, what is this? So, you know, and it's all through prayer, right? And supplication. So, God will reveal things to you, like he said, through that you may not have been aware. And one of the ways that he could do that is through just depositing words in your spirit, which, you know, what normally provoke you to look it up. So for example, insidious is oh god, y'all, this is one embarrassing thing. That's for another day. It says insidious adjective. Something that is insidious is unpleasant or dangerous and develops gradually without being noticed. Sadistic, cruelty, manipulation, using fear, preoccupation with violence. So it doesn't have to be violence. It has to just be a preoccupation with violence. So many things are non-verbal communication where you can threaten somebody just by being in an uncomfortable space that they've asked you not to breach. So last time you choked me, for example, I don't want you within choking distance of me. And that's just my boundary. If it's super inconvenient, please leave. And then We'll do the divorce and whatnot. But no, this is your house and I'm your property and all the things. So how dare I? You can get space, but I ain't leaving. Oh, y'all see that? Listen, the boy had a camera up in there. I'm telling you, they crazy. I had to pull up dang on smoke thing. All my alarms going off. Listen, if you're heavily surveyed, micromanaged, if you have the last 2 brain cells like I have left and the last 2 vocal cords, use them to save yourself. Because emotionally, today I had a very hard time because I should have got out months ago. And because I was strategic about making sure that my kids and I wasn't making an impulsive decision, because I did due diligence to make sure that even though everybody's gaslighting me and saying how amazing this dude is, and I must be crazy because I don't know how to be treated right, I'm not going to just act, right? And because of that, this lady is really going to sit here and be like, didn't y'all go to Paris? Yes. And as soon as we got to Paris, we almost went to jail because this man is going off on the transit controller about some not having to pay a fine or something that they, whatever their rules are. We're not from there. Pay these people, right? Them called extra police and everything. And this boy got to court, said it was because of me. He wanted to scan it. I didn't let him. I didn't let you choke me, but you were still choking me. I didn't let you cheat on me, but you still cheated on me. I didn't let you do a lot of stuff, but you still did it. And how convenient. Nothing's ever your fault also. And how convenient you're a savior and a martyr. And how convenient you're never wrong. And how convenient that you are 100% opposite from that until I had your son, which is ultimately what you wanted the whole time. I don't even believe this man's last name is Ferrari. Listen, y'all, 20 years, these people play with y'all. See, and I had to stop watching Snap like 10 years ago because I was like, ooh. Listen. Next thing I was saying is sadistic lifestyle. Okay, so it says, relishes menacing and brutalizing others, forcing them to cower and submit. So when people rule out control, the person can either has to choose to break their own will, like Jesus said. God gave you your own free will, but you have a human person telling you that you have to break that will for their will. Anybody trying to threaten your autonomy, he's always not wanting me to work. He wants to know every time. You know why? Because in order to enslave someone, you have to remove their autonomy and have them completely dependent on you. And it has to be done through fear. And it's insidious because it's over time. It's gradual. And that's what made sense. And then with this, cowering and submitting, does it look like I might submit, but I'm never going to cower? So see, here's the problem. Now you're trying to control me. You need me to cower, but I'm knucking you buck, right? You knew it when you married me. I beat him in Best Buy off like a Madden game and then went hard. Like, you let a girl beat you. Listen, this was in 2004. Listen, I challenge him in every way because if you can't take any of this, you got to go, because I'm a strong woman and I'm very autonomous and I'm secure in my autonomy. I prefer my autonomy, and there's only safety in my autonomy. I would never try to remove that. And then slowly, insidiously, I turn around and all I have is 2 brain cells left. Anyway, it says verbally cutting and scathing, accusatory and destructive, intentionally slurring, abusive, inhumane, unmerciful, enforcing sadism. It can also include emotional cruelty, purposefully manipulating others through the use of fear and a preoccupation with violence. And so most people think about sexual sadism, which is when somebody gets a sexual excitement from harming other people. So as soon as somebody says sadism, then everybody go to, whoa, that's definitely Dateline. But more importantly, it's already on death row, whatever it is that they called a sexual sadist. So, but there's a lot of people in our life that fall into that category. And so it's been a revelation, this whole situation. And you're trying to be safe and get your kids safe. And then somebody uses money, power, and authority even more to justify that you're crazy. So his mom is schizophrenic. His sister is running around schizophrenic around Florida. She doesn't have custody of her last child. Their dad doesn't have custody of the first one because literally the man came across states to grab that one. So she's just wandering around. His brother jumped off a building and killed himself at the age of like 20, 22. Like, your family is toxic. Your mom's in a mental hospital right now. Your sister was caught up in a toxic situation because at 16 she left her house to save herself, and she ended up living with another person that's also a narcissist, and she's finally trying to get out of that. And I feel more sorry for her than they do because they're only there to cover each other's sins. Like, so as soon as he told them that I had the protective order, of course, his sissy went and got Georgia a lawyer. And she came there today and was a damn opposite of a feminist. She was for the men. You are the reason Trump won. Like, girl, get out. And she said that, didn't he just take you to Paris? I said, I mean, if we really want to talk about it, he owed me way more than Paris. But, yeah, I mean, I went. Listen, you don't suffer through 20 years of very calculated suppression of emotion and strategic movement and building and working around somebody who's counterparents you, counter everything, keeps you confused, constantly gaslights you. I didn't patiently deal with that while keeping a smile because I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be happy. But doesn't mean that I am less of a victim because I choose happiness. That's all I know. If you go to Africa right now where there's poverty, they have a great part of Africa where there's not poverty. But let's just say you go to Africa and there's poverty. And the reason why I say that is because they always bring the camera over there. So please stay with me. Don't switch off. So what they'll show is kids that are in impoverished situation, but no matter how sad they try to make them look, they look a little happy. And I know I'm joking, but maybe I have sadistic humor. I don't know. But, not to say I look a little happy, but they're content because they just don't really know what that means yet for them, right? There's a jovialness that happens when you're a child because of the innocence. And really the innocence of stupidity, you just don't know that this world is about to get you. You're not going to have nothing to eat. You're going to have to keep going get this water all the time. Like, they don't know that just yet. So when God says us to act, He instructs us to, act as similar to children, and it means don't forget your joy. Don't forget that when you thought that everything was provided, like food came out the sky and, money on trees, you were happy. It wasn't until the more information you knew and the more of these Judases that came your way that you decided to take it seriously. And that's me and everybody else. So I'm going to keep me a jovial spirit because I if not, listen, rampage. You have to choose one or the other. You choose childhood trauma. You choose to sympathize and empathize with people and make a difference in the area that traumatized you, or you say, all this was done to me. Everyone owes me. Nobody know you. Nobody owe you but your cousin who molested you. By the way, what's her name in New York? I'm going to show a picture of her one day because I'm done. We're on Cat Williams status. Like, not even Cat Williams status, but God obedience, who said, anything done in the dark needs to be exposed to light. So my mama, you can get it. Like, from now on, we're not covering the sins of the people who won't leave you alone. Who, when you block them off your phone, they get your phone back and unblock it. Who does that? Like, I told this boy, if you make me want to hurt myself, not because I love me. This is not about me hurting me. I just can't get you out. Like, everybody thinks you're amazing. I don't know how to get out unless I leave my kids. So I feel trapped. That's what people are saying. I feel trapped. I want to kill myself because I feel trapped and nobody won't take you away from me. And I feel like the only peace I can have is from you. But somehow, because you took me to Paris, listen up. Twice I wanted to kill myself in Paris. I'll try about dumping in the CN. Because at least it would be my last hurrah in this amazing place. And I'll be so far away from him, even in death in Europe. Matter of fact, I told my kids, like, I didn't tell them yet, but when I do, because now they have to have my death plan. Look, ashes, Paris, dump it in the CN. That's what we're doing. I don't want to be anywhere near George Ferrari. 2030 will be when I change my last name. I am not a Ferrari. I never had one dealing with you, but I can get one without you. And I don't even want one because it's for little people. I want me a Range Rover. I want me G-Wagon, G-Wagon, G-Wagon. I love my Audi, hell. I don't care about no Ferrari. That's for small guys. These are big girls. Look at my hands. These big girl hands. I can't be in a little Ferrari. It goes fast, but you just go to speed limit. So unless you're trying to race, we can't really. And even then, I'm betting a little amount. I think that girl go. So today they brought up the fact that because I have a 2017 Audi Q3 in the year 2024, that this is what she was trying to say. Then she said, didn't you just go to Paris? I said, yeah. And even that cost me $70 or arrest when I first got there because of everything that he did. Also, the trip for Paris was because he's trying to date somebody else. He's trying to do something where he needs to show everybody that I'm crazy and that he had no other choice but to leave and save himself and the kids because he can't be a failure and say what happened to your family. And that's what people don't understand. A grown man cannot be successful without a wife and kids. Did you hear what I said? The girl who takes it in the rear with no condom, she can't be the mother and kids. Not her. She would just shame the kids and give them herpes on the way out. You need a Proverbs 31 noble woman. You need a wise woman. You need someone who has enough godly empathy for you to lie to long enough until they entrap you. And you hope that they don't have enough God in them to deliver themselves and slap the shit out of you, which is what I'm about to do right now after this. I don't know if the order is going to be granted, but if it doesn't, it's just going to be a hot mess for him because I'm just going to go get, I'll have to give me a handgun for protection. And if you breach the door of this room, 2 to the chest. I promise there's no blinking or thinking because you know what? When he was beating me up and choking me, I could not figure out how to hit him back, which is why when I dream, I'm like, I can't get out of my dream, right? Remember I told you I was still going through trauma, so it's going to get better as the time goes on. So, I already said, I already feel like, I can't do anything, that you're helpless. But it's because you can't hit the people you love. You cannot figure out a way. Listen, I have 4 combos and walk in dark alleys to use them all the time, just off the top of my head. For somebody coming from the front, back, and on each side. I don't know where they're going to come from, but I got to move for when they come from there. But I can't exercise any of those things on a person that I love, and I can't understand how I'm getting beat up. I'm trying to explain at the same time and understand at the same time. So you are not in your normal reactiveness because you're in a state of confusion. And confusion is not listed in the freaking flight or fight. Where is that at? Where's flight or fight and confusion of which one to do? They don't tell you, look, fear makes you run or courage makes you stay. Or fear makes you stand. What the hell you do when you're confused? Lose. Nobody would tell you about that. Whew. Author of confusion. You'll know you have the fruit. This boy, my hair... Since he left, my baby hair's growing in better. My skin is better. Listen, I can't tell y'all how happy I am about this. Look how low they are. And listen, dark circles will be gone because when you take off the toxic flower, banana, fruit, literally, if your leg has gangrene, you gotta cut it off. It's easier to cut him off than my leg. And on that note, I will keep you guys posted and let you know what happened in there. But I feel like I don't know. I don't feel like I won or lost. I just felt like they came in there and frustrated me. And then I don't feel like I was able to do the job that I needed to do to keep the protective order. But the protective order also protects him. And I should have mentioned that. Because listen, now that I know that you're after my life and to destroy and to take my kids after I sacrificed everything. I have a bachelor's degree, he has an associate's degree, and somehow you're going to tell me you better than me? Boy, can you please sit down? I got to do that by myself. You over there, your sister got you here, everybody got your job, my uncle worked at the school, and you still ain't got an associate's degree. Boy, get out of here. Because at the end of the day, when I rise and wake up, I'm going to eat. Nobody hibernates and they don't come back and eat. I'm so upset. And now I bite. So there you go. I'll let you guys know. Thanks for watching.
Psychological locks.